This week on the Salesforce Admins Podcast, I'm joined by Jean Velonis to talk about the Superbadge Cohort Learning pilot and what happens when admins stop learning alone and start solving problems together. We're going to dig into these cohorts and how they bring experts, beginners, and everyone together in the same room to work through real challenges, build confidence, and get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because for Salesforce admins, knowing how to troubleshoot, test, fail safely, and ask better questions matters just as much as knowing where to click. And as AI and agents become part of everyday platform work, well, those fundamental skills help admins validate what is correct, keep data reliable, and make sure that the platform reflects what the business actually means. So listen in, subscribe, and share this episode with an admin who learns best by rolling up their sleeves and figuring it out. Let's get Jean on the podcast. So Jean, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I think this is the second time I've been here, but it's been a while.
I know. Well, when you do the podcast for almost 14 years now, I try not to have guests back, only if they're important, like yourself.
Ooh, thank you.
We were Salesforce MVPs together 100 years ago when the internet was still tubes and wires. And now we're both at Salesforce, and you're on, I would call what, the curriculum side, the learning side?
Yeah, I would categorize that. It's more Trailhead, right?
Okay.
So long story short, certification was my jam for so long, and Superbadges were part of that. But over the last couple of years, we've decoupled from certification. We're still with Trailhead, and we're still considered an assessment, but we don't have all the guardrails of certification on us anymore, which is really exciting.
Gotcha. And just for reference, if anybody thinks they might have met Jean at a Dreamin' event or a Salesforce event, you tend to usually have purple hair and a bedazzled ranger hat. Is that an accurate description?
These are facts. I've had purple hair probably since 6 months of coming into Salesforce. And if anybody knows the famous Chris Duarte out there, she taught me everything I know about bedazzling. So I made a ranger hat.
Yeah. A lot of people bedazzle now because of her.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about this new Superbadge Cohort Learning pilot that you've kicked off, because I think you're trying to bring the best of both worlds together.
Absolutely. This isn't a new concept either. I'll just throw that out there. We had some amazing trailblazers before the pandemic and even through the pandemic doing Salesforce Saturdays or Salesforce Sundays, and they would get together in person or virtually and work on Trailhead. So this is kind of piggybacking off that concept and really bringing some of the community magic to Superbadges, because I think we can all look at a Superbadge and be like, oh, that's kind of intimidating. There's no step-by-step instructions. This looks really hard. There's multiple steps to it. And that just looks hard and I don't want to do it. But the cohort learning brings a facilitator, like a community group leader or a Dreamin' event person, to come in and help bring people together virtually or in person and work on a Superbadge together. And we've been running a couple of pilots of these. We did one at TDX and Witness Success in Indy. And it's been really successful in person, just because you can pair experts and newbies together at a table and make people really uncomfortable. And then they start talking to each other and learning from each other. And I think that's what gets really excited about doing this cohort learning. And then we've done a couple virtual events as well, where we've brought community group leaders. It's kind of like train the trainer of here's how you should run this virtually to be successful. Because that virtual is a little bit different beast.
Right.
Right. It's really easy to hide and stay on mute and turn your camera off, where we really try and get people excited to share their skill set with each other.
Yeah, no hiding in the dark corners. So I really like the idea of this. I've always really enjoyed Trailhead because I'm the type of learner that likes to do it at my own pace. Sometimes I even crazily go back and redo a badge just because I feel like if I've rushed through it, did I really learn it or was I just trying to get it done? And, when I'm really trying to learn it, I really take my time. I will agree with you. I've written Superbadges. I also enjoy the freedom. They're kind of like, here, go do. And you're like, oh yes, it's almost like the days of driver's ed when you get out from behind the desk and you finally get to drive the car in the real world. It's a little more of trying things out. But so are these cohorts that you're doing now, are they open to any Superbadge or are they just specific ones?
That's a really good question. We looked at our whole library of Superbadges and we wanted to pick one for admins and one for developers. And that doesn't mean it's just if you have that skill set. It's more of like, here's two of the main roles we see in the community. So we have data quality and validation, which is really for anybody prepping you for this agentic ecosystem that we're in, right? Cleaning up your org.
I mean,
right?
To be honest with you, that's what we've needed to do this whole time. But even before AI, it's sweeping the floors,
Yeah. I mean, it's been that way for a long time. I think I made my whole Salesforce admin career of going in and cleaning up orgs, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that was a great place for us to start. And then now we've started looking at the developer side of it, and we picked Apex callouts Superbadge for all of our developers. And I was very intimidated by trying to put together a Superbadge in a box for that cohort because I'm not a developer.
Right.
But going through this process, I'm like, you know what? I think I can actually do this. And that's because of all the great learning badges on Trailhead and being able to go at your own pace, because that's a whole nother skill set for an admin to try and figure out, right?
Right. I've often thought of, and this is just how Mike's brain works. If I had children, I would for sure name one of them Apex, because then, like you just gave them a shout out.
That's hilarious. I would have never.
That's how I work. My brain today is like, oh yeah, hey, did you hear you were mentioned on a Salesforce podcast? Of course I was. I'm an Apex call out.
I'll tell you a weird secret. I do put my children's names in Superbadge content. All of us over here under the Superbadge team put little Easter eggs.
Yeah, I love it.
Out there. It's either in the org or it's in the content. That's just kind of, we're all moms over here, so we like to give our kids a shout out.
Well, I will see your Easter egg and I will call your Easter egg. In almost every admin keynote demo, we have put our pets' names.
I love that.
So you can go back and figure out whose pets were whom. The only exception was we had Einstein voice rollout, and my dog's name was yet to be used, and we couldn't use it because it wouldn't recognize it. It was too hard to say, and so we had to go with something easy and punchy with hard consonants in it. So anyway, yes, I think there should be, I'm sure there is somewhere, a whole forum of Easter eggs found in Trailhead material.
100%. And I think that's what Trailhead is, right? Where it's the weird, it's the hanging out, it's the learning something new, it's the being uncomfortable. Because it really is. Learning can be really uncomfortable.
I mean, it exposes a weakness, and people don't like feeling weak. It's also the thing I always think about whenever I was doing training, because you're changing something, and the person that told me how to do training gave me a very, very well-rounded, concise piece of advice, which is people don't like to go to work and feel stupid. And when you change something, even in a CRM, that's what that comes from. And people don't like to feel stupid. And I feel that way. You change something, you're like, oh, this was here yesterday. Why isn't it here? And you blame yourself. And that's not the point. You do a lot of training. So let's talk about, let's go through just some scenarios of, I'm a new Salesforce admin. I stumbled across this podcast. Also, hello. You have a lot of episodes to catch up on. That's okay. You have a lot of time. What should they do to prepare to come to one of these learning cohorts?
I mean, the easy answer is get on Trailhead and start earning badges. That's number one. Step two is take a look at the new look and feel for Superbadges, and that will bring you to our recommended learning. It used to be required to unlock the Superbadge, but we've just now come on to what I would say the Trailhead UI. Superbadges are put into these units now, where the first unit is like, let's get ready, right? Let's get your developer org. Let's do the recommended learning. Let's connect it to your Superbadge now. That's all a little bit different than what we used to do with Superbadges. You had to unlock it, and then you had to go down all the way to the bottom of the page to hook up your org. Now it looks like a regular module or badge, which is nice because as somebody who struggles with reading and keeping my place on Trailhead, this new UI is really going to help with that. But also doing the recommended learning, I think, is key, even though it's unlocked now and you don't have to do it. I will tell you, I am the first person to start doing something and being like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing with this. Maybe I should have
done those recommended modules.
Yes. And then I will have to go back and learn and figure things out. I did that with the prompt template Superbadge. I thought I knew what I was doing.
No,
I did not. And that's failing forward, right? That's like realizing I don't know what I'm doing. Let me go figure this out. And then come back to it. So I think that's step number 2. Go and read through the Superbadges, look at them, look at the recommended learning. And then if you see that there is a Dream event or a community group doing one of these Superbadges, join them. Even if you've done the Superbadge, that's okay. You can go help the other people that are there.
Oh, I almost think that would be the next best thing after doing a Superbadge is going and volunteering to help train, because never will you ever learn more about something than when you have to train somebody about something.
Yeah.
Or walk around the room and answer questions. You're like, hey, I didn't run into that when I was doing mine, but let's figure it out. And it's super fun because then you're like, this wasn't a problem for me, but now it's a problem that I get to work through.
Yeah. I mean, bringing you all the way back to Sapwa. Call out, Mike. I mean, geez. Yeah, that is my favorite thing, to walk around, especially I live in these Superbadges every day, right? Our team builds them. We maintain them. We have to deal with all the product changes that are very quickly changing and trying to keep up with everything. So being able to walk around the room and see how Trailblazers are doing things, that not only helps me figure out, okay, here's some of the common pitfalls or where people are getting stuck, and I can write some hints to help, but also maybe we don't do that in the next Superbadge, or maybe we call it out in a different way, or let's go update the help article and call this piece out, like if somebody's getting stuck somewhere. So that's super helpful. But also you get to meet a ton of different people, which, we do virtually every day, but it's easy to hide behind the keyboard again. And to be able to connect with somebody and see their aha moment of where they've yes, I figured this out. That's super gratifying.
Oh, that's almost the time that you make a friend.
A best friend.
Yeah. I mean, because you're always going to be like, well, let's continue chatting while you work through this. And then the next thing you know, they're building Apex callouts and you're like, oh, I didn't get that far. And then they're teaching you stuff. I promise you it'll happen.
It will happen. I can say 100% certainty it will happen. I have 2 people that I call on all the time that I met through a conference or doing something. And I'm like, okay, I know this person knows code and I know this person knows flow. I'm not good at those things, but I can text or call or Slack and be like, I'm stuck.
Right. So, I mean, I have 1,000 questions, but let's go the opposite end of that, where if you're a community member, or maybe you're a user group leader or a dream and event person, and you're like, oh, this sounds like a super fun thing for me to include in my agenda. What would their steps be for possibly including? I know it's in a pilot, but for including this, or what's your vision for it moving forward?
Yeah, we have a facilitator sign up form, which I'm sure you would be happy to put that in the bio. Or
it is in the show notes as we speak.
Perfect. But yeah, just signing up to raise your hand to be a facilitator is huge. Because I'm going to have this Superbadge in a box ready very quickly for people to take to a pilot. I have 2 Dream It events that are already wanting to do this in August, and a community group that also wants to bring it, to their local people. So signing up to be a facilitator and doing this on your own, love that. And I wish I could go to every one of them, to be honest. I looked at a couple of them and I'm like, I might be able to make this work and just show up. But there's also a piece in that form too to sign up to be a subject matter expert and help if there's somebody locally that wants to do this. And selfishly, I put that in there that if you want to help us build Superbadges, that would be awesome too.
Right. And this sounds rhetorical, but it is honest. They should have probably already completed like that Superbadge that they want to facilitate or host.
I mean, I'd advise it. And with the new UI, you can redo a Superbadge. You can retake it now.
Yeah.
So you can do
the refresher because maybe you haven't done it in a while and want to see what's new.
I mean, the facilitator that did Witness Success told me she still had her notes when she originally did the Apex callouts in 2017.
Wow.
Right.
I probably have notes from somewhere of 2017. I have nowhere. That's awesome.
No, that notebook's gone.
Yeah. What, I always think of admins listening to this, and I don't want it to be a pitch session for your cohort, but this is really a neat way to get involved with the community from all of your work. And this is kind of just stepping out of your role and what you're doing in this Superbadge cohort. Out of all of the work that you've done at Salesforce and what you create for Trailhead, what are some of the biggest kind of themes that you run into that really, when that light bulb turns on for an admin, they suddenly just become, I don't want to say instantly become successful, but they really start to click and feel confidence and kind of have that aha moment?
I think being a Salesforce admin for such a long time, being able to fail and problem solve is probably the best skill you can have. You can learn any technical skill, right? I can go into a dev org and break things and figure out how products work. But if you don't know how to problem solve through something, getting to that aha moment is going to take you a long time if you're too afraid to break something. And I have broken things. And I think I've told you, I've deleted records from an org before and went, how do I get those back? So that is one of my favorite things is to go into a playground or a dev org and just break it. Pull things apart, see how it works, and be like, okay, I know where I want to go, but how do I get there? And I don't know how to get there. But if I go in and break everything, I'm going to learn a lot more than if I follow step-by-step instructions of how to do something.
Right. If it works out perfect the first time.
Yeah. What did you learn? Oh, I know how to do that. Okay. Well, what's next then?
Do you find that you have to remind people that it's okay to fail when building and it's okay for things to not work the way you want them to the first time?
Yeah. And I mean, that's how we build Superbadges. I mean, we have all these SMEs and we look through different use cases and we go into an org and build it out. And we're like, well, that's not going to work for this unit, or that's not going to work for this use case. Or how do we find those different tasks to lead the witness basically in the challenge to get to where we want them to go, but without telling them? And you can do it 97 different ways, right? There's not necessarily always a right way to get there.
Right. I know I've sat down. We used to have, it was a Dreamforce long time ago. And I was paired up with Josh Burke and we were helping a customer through a situation. And it was interesting because both he and I came up with a solution. Both he and I came up with a very different path to the solution. Mine was using at the time flows, and his was using some code and some triggers. And the customer was like, but which one's right? And we're like, both of them. I mean, never could you ever run into a situation where both solutions are equally correct. It's based on what you want to maintain and your knowledge. So
100%. And now you also have this agentic thing that will try and tell you the right path to go. And you can be like, well, I don't want to do it that way. And it's like, oh yeah, you're right. Let's try it this way. So I think even having that fundamental base of an admin or a dev is really going to serve you well in this ecosystem. So problem solving, having a fun foundational skill set, and then also knowing where you want to go and problem solving your way to get there.
Right. So let me ask you, you've brought up agents and AI, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, but I mean, it's definitely something that it's our everyday now. From your perspective, is building a lot of content and in the learning space, what is the most important thing you think admins should learn about AI and agents?
I think the most important, well, there's two. Learning when to trust that the AI is telling you the right thing, and knowing how to ask the prompts and the questions. Because you may not know where you want to go, but if you have your fundamental base of the system, you can ask it the right questions to get you where you're going. And as somebody who struggles with writing content, I know where I want to go. I know what the tasks are for the Superbadge, and I can say, okay, now help me write an error message or help me write a hint for a help article that's going to help them get unstuck. And you can ask the AI that too. You're like, hey, I'm using this flow element. I'm trying to go here and make the system do this. It's not working. Help me untangle this.
Right. Help me. Teach me. Don't tell me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's key. Teach me. Don't tell me. Yeah, I don't need step by step.
I do that all the time with Wordle. Don't tell me the answer. Just help me figure out what this word is. I'm stuck. Jean, last question, because I know you have to go. It's 2030, and the Superbadge Cohort Learning program is out of pilot. What does it look like?
It looks like all of our trailblazers getting together, helping each other learn something new, experts and newbies and everybody in the middle, taking something away from that hour or that day that they spent with each other and everybody having their own aha moment, whether it's I help somebody get unstuck, or I got a new super badge, or I made a new contact, or I'm out of a job and I made this whole partner and I handed them my resume. Those are the things that make the community go round. Those are the things that makes learning so important. And it's okay to break things.
Right. Very well. Very well said. Thank you, Jean, for being on the podcast.
Thanks, Mike. Happy to be here.
Big thank you to Jean Velonis for joining us and reminding us admins that getting stuck is not the end of learning. It is usually where the useful part begins. Now, whether you join a cohort, you facilitate one, or you know what, you simply just help another Salesforce admin work through a challenge, teaching and problem solving are powerful ways to strengthen your platform judgment. Be sure to subscribe to the Salesforce Admins Podcast. Share this episode with somebody who is ready to learn and really earn that next aha moment. Until next time, we'll see you in the cloud.